Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Robin and today I'm going to be sharing with you a behind the scenes fall home tour. On last Monday I had a fall home tour, which most of you probably have already seen, but I had a whole group of ladies join me for the fall home tour and it was so much fun. So if you missed that, I will link that video down in the description box. But in that video, I promised you guys another video where I would go through my house and share with you all the different things that I used in my decor, kind of up close and personal. So I'm going to do that sort of blog style today, and I will also be sharing how I put together a lot of the displays that I used for my decor, like this coffee table display behind me. So if you're interested in that, keep on watching. All right, since we're already in the kitchen, we might as well start in here. Things have changed a little bit since the original home tour video that I took. I'm in the middle right now of making Chex Mix, so you probably hear the stove in the background. There isn't really anything in here that I have not shared with you on my clean and decorate video. Not everything has stayed the same, however. Like this here on the table runner didn't last very long, and the little things I had around, like the candle and the pitcher and that sort of thing, that didn't last very long either, because this table gets used all the time. However, this little display is still here, so I added a candle and I've got that going. This is my favorite candle. It's called Cinnamon Clove Buds. It smells so amazing. And then I also added this over here. I'm gonna get some candy corn to fill up the tray with, and then in the little containers, I'm gonna get some of those candy apple suckers for the girls and put those in there. So I've got that sitting there ready for that. So basically, all of my other displays have stayed the same, and this is the only one I've really changed up. So let's go on into the living room next. All right, so we are in the living room now, and nothing really in here has changed at all, so I can go through. The couch itself, oh, there's a little Rayma toy there on the blanket that the dogs are always fighting over. This is from TJ Maxx. It's one of their lush velvet blankets. I absolutely love the color, and it goes very nicely with these pillow cushions that I made. I found this sheet at the thrift store, and I made a couple pillowcases out of them. I just love the pattern of the floral, and then the colors are absolutely perfect for this time of year. And then over my couch, I just have my matelassé coverlet right now. And then this pillow was also from TJ Maxx, which looks pretty amazing with the covers that I made as well. Then we have the little display above the sofa, and I love this area. It's very simple, and the picture just makes it for me. The painting itself I found at the thrift store. It was less than, I can't remember how much it was, to tell you the truth. I found it quite a long time ago, but I don't think I paid more than $10 for it, and it's huge, so I love it. It's just got a little touch of, the fall colors to it. I think it is so cool. So I added this little box in front because I wanted to add a touch of wood into the mix. This box I bought years ago at the thrift store. And then these little pumpkins, I think, if I remember correctly, are from Joann's. I have another one over here to add that little pop of green. And then these ones are so fun. Are actually porcelain ones that I have painted. They have little faces on the back. I got these at the Target dollar spot, I think last year and the year before. I have quite a few of them. I know that they do sell them at Hobby Lobby right now, because I have seen them there as well. But I love painting them up, and I think it is so much fun, and I think they look so cute. And then finally we have the little florals on the end, which I wanted to add to give some height next to the ends of the picture. So I have these little mason jars that I found at the thrift store. They have these cute little handles, and I bought it years ago and I've never used them. So I'm like, I need to get these out and use them. So I decided this was a time. So I added some dahlias that I already had. I bought these a couple of years ago, probably from Michael's. And then this right here, I bought this year. It's like a grassy kind of thing, and it's got these little seed pods, and I think they were so pretty. I like that they were spiky. I believe those came from either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Now I can't remember. I'm pretty sure Michael's. But I got like 2 stems of those. So I had enough to do this side and then to repeat it on the other side. So I think this whole display turned out really, really nicely. So I'm loving that. So I didn't really do much on the corner hutch. I just added a few sprigs of these leaves that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. These are the leaves that I ended up using all over in my living room and dining room area. And I think I ended up getting like 8 stems of them or something like that. And I just kind of cut them up and used them here and there. And I just think they're so pretty. Then over here, next to the hutch, I have the 2 armchairs. And then the table in between. The 2 armchairs I've had forever. I've painted them and given them a slip cover of a matelassé coverlet years and years and years ago. The pillow is like a velvet, or I don't know, yeah, it's probably velvet. Actually where my daughter Zoe's, she was doing a blue and mustard yellow in her room, and then she's like, I didn't want to change my colors. So I'm like, awesome, I'll take those cushions, please. So I added those in for a nice little pop of yellow in here. And then on the table here is another table I found at the thrift store, which I painted up. And then I just have this beautiful pot of mums in this little basket. And then this little guy was also found at the thrift store, and I painted him the same way I do my other pumpkins. And he actually has a little tea light inside him, and it lights up at night, which is really cute. Then just a single leaf, and then this little drawer, which I recently found at the thrift store. I think it is so cool. And then on top of that, I added a thrift store pumpkin. This one actually has a little face on it as well, so you can put a candle in it, which I'll probably turn them around like this closer to Halloween and put candle in them. So he's so really cute. But for now, he's going to sit like this. And then this table does have a little shelf, so I added my vintage radio. And then on the bottom down here, for a little touch of brown, I added this wicker basket. So then next to the chairs, to finish up this side of the room, is the roll top desk that I found at the thrift store. I gave it a makeover. I do have a tutorial on that on my channel. Down below, I had one sorry looking, you know, one of those carvable kind of pumpkins, so I just kind of threw him down there. He looks pretty sad down there, but that's all right. But I like how this turned out. I added a picture or a painting that I found at the thrift store. I think I paid like $5 for that quite a few years ago. Then I have this little teacup and saucer with a little spoon on it to add a little touch of silver. And then I have this little oval bowl. Recently found the bowl at the thrift store. It's a Syracuse China bowl, which I am in love with. And then I had these little pumpkins for like ever, and I've never used them. I did mean to paint them, but that just never happened. So I threw them in the bowl, added a candle, which is inside another little thrifted bowl. And then I had this handkerchief. One of my subscribers sent it to me, and I thought it was absolutely perfect to use. And so I tucked that in there as well, and I just love it. I think it's such a cute little display. I did have something back in this cubby, and I meant to add stuff to the other cubbies, but I just never got around to it. So this has a cute little creamer. It's silver and white, and then this gorgeous little crocheted doily that someone sent to me, one of my subscribers, and I love it. So then on the top of the desk, I added a little pumpkin. This is another one of the pumpkins that I have painted. That's a little ceramic one. And then I laid this little doily underneath it. And isn't it just absolutely gorgeous? This is another doily that one of my subscribers sent to me, and it's like, oh, so gorgeous. I love it. And then next to the pumpkin, I added this candelabra, which I recently found at the thrift store. I was going to give it a makeover because I wasn't super crazy about the wood tone, but I ran out of time. So I decided to go ahead and use it the way it was, and I think it works. So I added 2 battery operated candles. These are actually on timers. They are from Hobby Lobby. You can get 2 of them for about $20, or you can get them on sale when they have like their candle stuff on sale, which is how I bought these. And they're awesome because they're actually set on timers. They'll go off every night, and they just make a nice, lovely little glow over here in the evenings. So I love those. However, I wish they would make a version that was, about half this size that kind of looked like they've already been burned. I'm on the lookout for something like that. I have a few of them on Amazon that I have found, but I have yet to go ahead and buy them. And look at these paintings. Oh my goodness, you guys, I love these so much. They make me smile and laugh, and I just think they're so adorable. I found this first one a couple years ago at the store called At Home, and then I went the following year around the same time, and they had the girl version of it, so of course I had to pick it up. So I just love these guys so much. I don't know what it is about anything with like glasses on it, but I just think it's so funny and I love it. So I think it was pretty cool. So I had to add those into the mix somewhere. I know it doesn't really go with the rest of the decor so much, but I love them, so I had to use them. All right, so then moving on to the rest of the room, we have the coffee table, and I absolutely love how this coffee table turned out. It started with the mums. I picked those up at the grocery store, and I have them in a little basket. And then I bought some greenery. This is from Hobby Lobby, I think, or Michael's. I can't remember now. Here's some more of those leaves. Here's some of those dahlias, just the little buds. And then I have real pumpkins, a little bit of squash, some pumpkins that are faux, and I just kind of made an arrangement around the flowers. And Zoe left her hand cream there, so that's lovely. That adds to it, don't you think? I do have a clip on how I put this display together, so I'm going to share that with you right now. To start off the centerpiece, I placed this beautiful mom in a cute little basket in the center of the table. I then went ahead and added 2 large pumpkins on either side of the basket. I then went ahead and started filling in the areas between the 2 pumpkins with different size and colored pumpkins and squash. As you can see, I use a combination of real and fake pumpkins. Next, I wanted to start adding in some foliage. I found these really cool, like wheat looking picks at Hobby Lobby. I thought they were really fun and added a nice little texture. So I had 3 of those to use, and I just spread them out evenly throughout the display. I also had some yellow flowers and some leaves that I found at Hobby Lobby. So I cut the leaf stems up so I'd have little chunks of leaves to work with, basically. And I just started placing the flowers and the leaves in any of the gaps that I saw that I thought were, a little larger than I wanted them to be. So as you can see, I just kept playing with it, adding little elements at a time, trying to make the 2 sides of the display relatively even, yet at the same time not worrying too much about it. My main goal was to make sure that each pumpkin had a small element next to it to sort of soften it. Once I had played around with it enough and liked the look of it, I was done. It was actually pretty simple. than the coffee table, I just have this armchair to finish off this living room area. It's kind of like in between the living room and the dining room, as you can see. But I love this chair. It's so cozy. I just recently added the little ottoman to the bottom. I still need to paint the legs white. This is something that, I've been wanting to do forever, but just haven't got to it. But that's all right. And then I have a little basket down there with more blankets in it, because you can never have enough blankets this time of year. And then the chair is actually sitting right next to the hutch. Now the hutch I already did a full video on and showed you how I decorated it from absolutely nothing on it to all of my ironstone collection and the little bits of fall that I added into the mix. However, I did change up the bottom section here. If you watch the original version of the video that I shared with you already, if you missed it, I will link that up in the cards and then down in the description box as well. But I had a whole bunch of like gravy boats and stuff out on this bottom, which was fine, but it just seemed really cluttered to me. So I wanted to streamline this area a little bit better. So I just took all the gravy boats away. I kept one right here. And I pretty much kept this side, but I took everything away from the other side and I put this basket here for me to put my purse on, because I come up the stairs and I put my purse on the hutch all the time. So why not just designate this area for my purse? And it's yellow, so it kind of like goes with my yellow leaves and other stuff that I've got going on. So that is what I have changed up in this area. All right, so then we can move into the dining room here. I love how this turned out. I think it is so pretty. We'll start over here on this little desk. Above the desk, I have some sconces, which I've had here for quite a long time. Found those at the thrift store, along with this mirror that's right next to it. I found that at the thrift store, gave that a makeover. So for the display on the top of the desk here, which is also a thrifted item, I started out with this basket. I knew I wanted to use that. It's a recent thrift store find, and I think it is so awesome. It looks so old. I absolutely love it. So I wanted to add the picture in that, so I added that. And then I added these flowers, which I picked up at Hobby Lobby, for a little pop of orange. And then I added a faux pumpkin to that. And then in front of that, I have another pumpkin that I painted. And then this one here, I think is from Michael's last year. They have something very similar this year. And then I just added a few little leaves around that as well. And then I added this wood box, which is from the thrift store. This is my favorite wood box I found at the thrift store. I think it is so cool. Love the little latch on it. Found it years ago. I wish I could find more boxes like this. I love them. And then on top of that, I place this little guy right here. This is from Hobby Lobby. I came in a bag of like 6 other ones, like 3 this size and 3 smaller ones. Next to the pumpkin, I added this little creamer that's tarnished and oh so pretty. I just love the handle on it. Look at that, you guys. Oh my goodness, love it. I added some like duck feathers. These are just from like Michael's. You can get them in the kids crafting area. They have quite a few different little ones, different types that you can choose from. So I picked up like plain white ones, and then I also picked up these like brownish ones. So I just like to add a little bit of feathers in the fall. I don't know why, but I just do. And then I added a creamer next to it. And then this one I have turkey feathers, which my mom has found down at the cabin. So I love those as well. I think they're so pretty. So that makes a nice little display right over here. And then we can move over to this little table over here. The table itself is a thrifted find, which I gave a makeover to. I have that on my channel. I can list it up below if you'd like. And then I added some beautiful things on top of that. I started with this runner. And then I have this mug wrap that I found at a flea market this summer. And then I added these nice little mugs, which are Syracuse China. I just love them. So I added 4 of those there. And then in the back, you may remember this. It was a recent thrift store find. I tucked that in the back there and then added some pumpkins in front. So this is another one of those ones that I have painted, and I put it on this little wood riser, which I found at the thrift store. This little one I just recently made. I think it turned out so cute, and I have a tutorial on my DIY channel on how to make this. You may recognize the fabric. It matches that pillows over on my couch. I think it is so pretty. I plan to make a couple more of these pumpkins. I think they turned out so cute, but I want to try to see if I can make a much bigger one, but we shall see. We shall see. So then next to that, I also have one more pumpkin here. This one I've had for quite a few years, but I believe I got it at Michael's, and they have something similar this year, if I remember correctly. It's really heavy. It looks like it's like made of wood, but it's not. But it looks pretty cool. And then I have it in this bowl right here, which is a Syracuse China bowl, which I absolutely love. So all that together makes a nice little display here in the corner. Oh, and I forgot to show you this. This is a mirror, which I recently found also. Well, it's been a while. I want to replace the picture, but I've yet to do that. And then this is a wall sconce, which I recently found also, and I love it up there. So I have one here, and then another one over on the other side of the plate rack. And since we're here at the plate rack, I guess we could go over that as well. For the plate rack, I wanted to use a lot of white dishes, of course, and then I wanted to add in a touch of silver. So I used a combination of silver and pewter. I would say everything on this shelf is pretty much from the thrift store. The only thing that's not from the thrift store is this cutting board up here, which I made myself. So I just added some on the top shelf, added some white dishes with the cutting board behind it for a pop of, you know, warm woods. Added in a couple little leaves, and that took care of the top shelf. And then the next shelf, I have a wood charger with a couple plates in front of that, which I love. And then this painting is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I found it at the thrift store, and I love it a lot. So then I wanted to add a little bit of orange into the mix. So I added these little, what do you call it? I can't think. Creamers. Sorry, this one is a nice little silver creamer with a little pumpkin in it. And then I duplicated the look over on the other side. Look at that creamer. Isn't that cool? I love it. This one I've had for ages. And so I duplicated the look over there on both sides. And it helps bring out the orange and yellows in the painting, I think. And then next to that, I duplicated the wood charger with the plates in front of it to correspond with the other side. So then on the very bottom plate rack, I started off with this platter right here in the middle. It was my most recent purchase of plates. I think I hauled it maybe a week or two ago, and I absolutely love the shape of it. I think it is so cool. And then I found this plate in my stash, which I had forgotten all about it, and I'm pretty sure one of my lovely subscribers have sent it to me, and I thought that it was absolutely perfect for here. So I added that, and then a few leaves around it. And then I have these little guys right here. They have little starburst jars. Can you see that? I love them. So I added a little tea light in there for a little glow in the evenings. And then I added another plate here in the back with a pewter charger in front of it. And then I duplicated that on the other side as well. And that takes care of the bottom shelf. Super simple and pretty, I think. So then we have the table. Oh, I suppose maybe I should show you this over here. There's the other sconce that I hung up recently. And then I have this little sewing table that sits in my corner over here. And I have borrowed my daughter's reproduction record player. It's been sitting out here for quite a long time, and I absolutely love it. And it's the only way that I have to play my records that I bring home from the thrift store. So that's very generous of my daughter to share with me. So on top of that, I have one of my vintage radios, a little pumpkin from the dollar spot at Target, and then I have this beautiful lamp which I picked up, oh, it's probably been a couple of years now, but I picked this up at Hobby Lobby and I absolutely love this lamp. I think it is so cool. I would love to find some sort of candle sconce that's got like the dark, iron base with the little crystals hanging on it for this area. That is my dream, but I haven't been able to find anything. So for now, I'm using those sconces up there, and I like them. I think they look cool. They're very simple, and that's what I like. So, so that's, one of those things I'm still looking for. All right, so then moving on to the table. I absolutely love how the table display turned out. So on the bench down here, I have this little blanket that my mom so graciously let me borrow for my home tour because I love the colors in it. I thought it would go really nicely, and it has been around since I was a little kid. And I love it. It is so cute. So I just kind of draped that over the bench. And that adds a nice little pop of color. So I'm absolutely loving how my tablescape turned out. I think it is so pretty. Before we get into the centerpiece, I'll show you what I did for the plate settings. I have these gorgeous plates, which I absolutely love, from the thrift store. And then I found these little wooden plates at TJ Maxx or Home Goods. There was a set of 4 of them for like $10. So I picked those up. These are little faux pumpkins that I got at Hobby Lobby. And then for the silverware, I found a set of this white-handled silverware, years ago at the thrift store. So I decided to add that. And I like the contrast between the dark wood of the table. I think that is so pretty. So I added one of those at each of the 4 settings here at the table. And I think it turned out really pretty. As for the centerpiece, like I said, I absolutely love how it turned out. The flowers here are from Hobby Lobby. And then I just used a mixture of real and faux pumpkins. And then, of course, these little glasses. You guys might remember that I hauled those not too long ago in one of my Thrift Store Thursday videos. And I think that adds a nice little green touch to the rest of the, there's a lot of yellow and oranges going on. So that adds a little extra yellow, or green, I'm sorry, to the mix. And I think it looks absolutely beautiful. So when I was putting together this display, or the centerpiece, I did go ahead and film that. So I will share with you how I did that right now. I went ahead and made the floral arrangement for the center of the table first. I used as a base this beautiful tureen. I reused a very small piece of florist foam to kind of hold the flowers in place. And then the flowers I'm using today are these gorgeous flowers that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I picked up 2 bunches of them, and that's the perfect amount for this large tureen. To start my arrangement, I added 4 stems along the base, 1 on the front, 1 on the back, and 1 on each side. Once I had those 4 placed, I added 1 in the center, and that gave me the height that I wanted my arrangement to be. From there, I just went ahead and started filling in the bottom row of the arrangement, making sure that the flowers sat right on the lip of the tureen. And when I had flowers like this that had the nice little foliage that hung down nicely, I wanted to make sure that that area sat on the bottom, overflowing the side of the tureen, which looks like this, which is very lovely. Once the bottom row was filled in, I started filling in the rest of the arrangement, just adding a flower wherever there was a gap, kind of fluffing it a little bit, and then moving on to the next gap. Once I had the base looking nice, I have had these little, I don't know what these are, maybe boxwood branches, I'm not real sure, but I thought they looked really pretty. So I used those to tuck into areas where I thought there was a little bit too big of a gap between the flowers. So I just tucked in a few here and there to fill in any space that I thought was open too much. And I really like how it looked when I'm all done. And this is how it looked. With the floral arrangement complete, I started over on the table with the rest of the centerpiece. So I started by laying down a nice little table runner and then placed the floral arrangement in the middle. I felt that it needed a little height, so I added this little wood riser underneath it and then centered that in the middle of the runner. Then I went ahead and started adding pumpkins. Once again, I used a combination of real and faux pumpkins. I added in 2 lovely green glasses with some little votive candles in it for a little sparkle at nighttime, and then continued to add little baby pumpkins in front of the larger pumpkins. Once the pumpkins were placed where I wanted them to, I started adding in some leaves. Sometimes I'd use a little cluster of leaves, other times I'd use just a single leaf. And once again, just trying to make both sides sort of mirror each other as best I could, but not being too strict about it. The main idea with adding the leaves is just to soften the areas between the pumpkins and to add just a little bit more visual interest. And as you can see, I just kept adding leaves, kind of rearranging things, playing with it until I got a look that I liked. And then of course I made sure that I added some things on the back side, more leaves, more pumpkins, just to make it all cohesive all the way around the centerpiece. Once I was happy with the look, I was finished. So that is how I put together this display, and I think it is so pretty. I am so pleased with how that turned out. So I guess that is it for the dining room. So now I think the only other room I have to share with you is the bedroom. So let's head that way. So here's the bedroom. Now the bed looks a little different. It is laundry day, so I'm in the middle of washing and changing out the sheets. So the bed's not all pretty and made up today, but that's all right. But everything else is the same. Pretty much all I really did in this room was add new bedding, like the pillows. We talked about these in my original video. If you guys saw that master bedroom fall tour, I made this gorgeous velvet pillow, and then I did a little display on my side table. These gorgeous ones, I believe, were from Michael's. And then I just added a silver tray from the thrift store and some pumpkins. That was very cute. Over on my husband's side of the bed, I basically just kind of did something very similar. We did these purple hydrangeas that I picked up at Michael's, which I think are gorgeous, with a little purple pumpkin and a little greenery. What I really wanted to share with you guys today is how I went about putting together this headboard display that I love so very much. I think it turned out absolutely gorgeous, and I know a lot of you liked it as well, so I will share with you how I put this together with you right now. I started out by centering this beautiful oval mirror that I found at the thrift store in the center of the headboard, and then from there I had a few eucalyptus branches that I wanted to use as a base. So I went ahead and started laying those out along the length of my headboard to see how much I actually had and whether or not I could cover most of the headboard with them. I soon found out that I had plenty to work with, which thrilled me because I really wanted to use these as the base for my display. Next, I started adding in different elements like the pumpkins. This white pumpkin is from Target. It's actually a candle, which is absolutely beautiful at night. The purple pumpkin is from Michael's, and the velvet pumpkin is from the Target dollar spot. I felt like the pumpkins were kind of disappearing into the greenery, so I decided to add a dish underneath the white pumpkin, and I liked that a lot, so I decided to add a dish underneath the purple one as well. I used a little cupcake stand from the Target dollar spot, which I've had for a few years, and it's the perfect size to hold a medium-sized pumpkin. And then I just retucked the velvet pumpkin down underneath the stand, and I think that looked very nice. The next thing I did was arrange the candlesticks down at the end of the shelf. I had to move the greenery around just a little bit so that I had space to put the candlesticks, but that's okay. Once I had all three candlesticks positioned where I wanted them to be, I just added the greenery back into the mix. Once the original greenery, which I laid down, looked like it was well spaced throughout the length of the shelf, I started adding in a second type of greenery. The second greenery had more of a like grass or spiky texture to it, and it had little like pods of white on the end, which I thought were really pretty. I shared these with you during my fall home decor haul, and then I also added in a mix of these yellow, like, I don't know, wheat looking grass things as well. I only had two of those, so I added one on each side of the shelf, and I thought that was a nice little mix and added a little more texture to it. And then I went ahead and added a few more sprigs of the grassy, spiky greenery that I had as well, making sure that I had even amount on both sides of the mirror. I wish I would have picked up more of this because I really love the way it like drooped over the side of the shelf. I thought that was really cool. And then I went ahead and added some little baby pumpkins. These came on like a stem, and I just cut those off and tucked them in a few places. And then came the hydrangeas. Once again, I'm just tucking these in wherever I felt that there was an open spot along the length of the shelf. And then I also added this little bit of like boxwood with little like berry heads. I don't really know. Anyways, I added a few of those in there as well, and I thought that added a nice little touch. But wherever possible, I tried to get most of the dark purple color of the hydrangeas to show, but like you can see, I got a good mix of it, which I think made it look very pretty. And I packed it as well as I could with the hydrangea, and I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. All right, so that is how I put the headboard display together. Super duper easy, and it has turned out really nicely. And the hydrangeas, when I put them in here, were like freshly clipped, and now they've kind of dried into these little gorgeous clumps of hydrangeas. And most of them have kept their color, and I didn't know that you could spray them with hairspray, and it's supposed to keep their color a little better. Obviously, I didn't try that because I didn't know about it, but they have done pretty well with keeping their color. I'm very impressed. So love those so much, and I'm absolutely loving these pumpkins right here. Pick these up at Target. They're little candles and they glow. Love them. This pumpkin here is from Michael's. No, I'm not Michael's. I'm sorry, Hobby Lobby. These are also from Hobby Lobby. It came on a stick with a whole bunch of little pumpkins on them from the greenery section, and then this one is from the Target dollar spot. The beautiful mirror in the middle was thrifted. I gave that a little bit of a makeover by just kind of sanding a little bit on it, and it really brought out the details. And then of course these candlesticks are also thrifted, which I gave a makeover to as well. I think that's on my DIY channel, so I will link that down below as well. All right, so that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, I would also love it if you could come over and see me at my DIY channel as well. I will link that down in the description box. All right, guys, have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye now.